Hey friends, and welcome to the Paparazzi Stars podcast. Here we chat about all things paparazzi. Tips, tricks, suggestions, and weekly challenges. All to help you grow and explode your paparazzi accessories business to rockstar success. Party people in the house! Welcome to another episode of the Paparazzi Stars podcast. Hey, my name is Anya Bohm, and I am your show host. Today we're going to be covering paparazzi lingo. Do your customers understand what you're saying? That's an important thing. You want them to understand because then you can communicate with them, right? Sell them $5 jewelry. So now here are some things you're going to want to remember when you're talking to your customers and your hostesses and even your potential consultants so that they don't get lost in the translation of all of it. Now, before we get into that, if you need these show notes, you're going to want to grab the handout that I have for you. And there's a call image all over at paparockstars.com/lingo. It's all over there just waiting for you. The image, I'll talk about that in just 1 second, but you can use it on your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and it is kind of along the lines of what we're talking about today. I know that we're busy and a lot of times you're washing the dishes, driving your car. Hey, not a problem. That's why I took the notes for you. So I'm going to say it one more time where you can find it. Ready? paparockstars.com/lingo, LANGO. Now that call image that I was just telling you about, cute little seal popping its head out of the water, and it says, "Did I hear someone say $5 jewelry?" And it has the paparazzi logo on it there for you. It's cute. You're going to want to use it. You can put that in your online parties, on your fan page, however you'd like to use it. It is adorable and ready for you. Okay, let's jump into the training today. Did you know that paparazzi has its own language? It's true story. It's traditionally called jargon or lingo. Jargon, defined, is special words or expressions that are used by a particular profession or group that are difficult for others to understand. Are you using jargon when you're talking to your customers, your hostesses, and your potential consultants? It might be confusing and it might be overwhelming. They don't know what you're trying to say. Now, I completely understand that there are some words you just can't get away from, especially when you're talking to potential team members. But the trick is to explain things and keep them super simple. You should also try to avoid jargon words or lingo words altogether when talking to your family or your friends or your hostesses or even your customers. Be sure to explain words like downline, PV, OV, director, and upline so that your potential consultant or your current team members know what you mean. A good rule of thumb is to talk so like a 10-year-old would be able to understand what you're saying. Now, we're not talking like in a derogatory way, like, "Oh, honey, it's okay, a director." We're talking, just explain it, keep it simple. If you need to use a term like "empower me pink," follow it up with an explanation of what you're talking about. So say, "Oh, I'm going to empower me pink. That's a night of training that we do for paparazzi. It's so much fun." Okay, did you see how I did that? I defined it right after I said it so that people knew what I was talking about. Or maybe you're listening to this and you're a new paparazzi consultant yourself, and you have no idea what some of these words that other consultants are using mean. It's okay. I've got you covered. So we're going to go over a couple of the most common terms and what they mean. But for a more complete list, you're going to want to head over to the blog and print out the list in the resources section. There's like 3 or 4 pages of all the lingo words and what they mean. Okay, that's paparockstars.com/lingo where you can find that. Okay, so the first word we're going to talk about is starlit shimmer. Now, this is a business accessory used to pacify the youngest paparazzi partygoers. It can be purchased at wholesale price and sold at the suggested retail price of $1 per piece. Now, starlit shimmer items do not carry PV, and they do not generate commissions through the paparazzi compensation plan because they are a bonus item. Okay, now starlit shimmer items, you can find those in your back office. That's where you're going to go place orders under the starlit shimmer tab. They are sold as a 10-pack for $5. Okay. A sponsor. Now, this is the consultant who introduced you and enrolled you in paparazzi, also called an upline. A star consultant is a rank in the paparazzi compensation plan. To qualify, a consultant must have 50 PV within 1 calendar month. Now, if you've joined Paparazzi, you join with a starter kit, so you are a star consultant. Woohoo! Okay, active. A consultant is considered active when she or he has accumulated 50 PV or more within 1 calendar month. That's 25 pieces or 50 PV, personal volume. Being active will qualify a consultant for certain bonuses within the paparazzi compensation plan, like your downline bonus. So you need to be active for that. Being active also, I'll jump off on a little tangent here. When you're active, you are also able to be featured on the Paparazzi website under the Find a Consultant tab for the following calendar month. So if you're active, say in October, then November is when you're going to show up in there. If you are not active in October, you're not going to show up in November. But then if you place an order November, you'll show up December. Does that make sense? So it's the following month. Blockbuster. Blockbuster means it is one of Paparazzi's best-selling accessories. There are Blockbuster tabs in your back office where you're going to be placing your orders from. And if you see an item that says it's a Blockbuster, that just means that it is a bestseller and it is a hot item. Okay. Some of the necklaces are named things like Enmeshed Elegance, Designated Diva, Fishing for Compliments is another one. So those necklaces, they're best sellers. If you don't see them in your back office currently, they will be back. Okay. It just is something that happens with the Blockbuster items. Those are the ones that are most always available. Okay. Group volume, GV, is the abbreviation for that. It is the cumulated PV of all of the consultants in your downline within 1 calendar month, also known as organizational volume or OV. Okay. Trend blend. A trend blend is a group of accessories perfectly stylized to go together. These pieces share textures, colors, shapes, and more to pull together a complete look. Back office. Now, I've mentioned that a little bit already. A back office is the consultant's virtual dashboard where he or she can go place orders for new inventory. You can run reports on the activity of your new team, and you can have access to resources to assist you in building your business. This is also where you're going to schedule like your online parties through your Paparazzi consultant website. All of that back office. Also, sometimes you'll see the abbreviation BO for back office. Now, here are a few suggestions on how to avoid using jargon words or lingo words and what to replace it with so that you are clear and you are easy to understand. The first one is to use an alternative. So instead of like upline, say leader. Say training instead of empower me pink. That makes a little bit more sense to someone that's listening. Unless you're talking to another paparazzi consultant, in which case they may or may not understand what you're saying. But we're just keeping it simple. That's the whole idea around lingo and jargon, keeping it simple. If you are going to use an abbreviation or an acronym, explain it the first time you use it. So if I'm doing a training to other consultants and I'm talking about PV, I'm going to say PV is personal volume, and that is how much you have used in 1 month in your business, how much you've ordered in Paparazzi. So for example, if you order 25 adult pieces, your PV or your personal volume will be 50 for that month. Okay. Does that make sense? Another commonly used one for this is Starlit Shimmer. If you're like, oh, the Starlit Shimmer line is $1. Nobody's going to know what that means. Your customers coming into your booth, everything's $5 and our Starlit Shimmer's $1. They're not going to know. So I say everything is $5 and then this section over here is our Starlit Shimmer line and everything over here goes for $1. Now I've explained Starlit Shimmer, I've shown them where it is and I've told them that it's $1. So it's defined a little bit better. When you use lingo words, make sure that they're convenient for your customers. For example, instead of saying, oh, someone that's hosting a party or a party host, you can just say hostess. It's a little bit more simple. It is one of our jargon words, but it is one also that people are going to understand a little bit better. The next one, convert as many possible the lingo words into other words. For example, instead of saying I'm going to empower me pink, I tell my friends and family that I'm going to a paparazzi training. Okay, so I can say, oh, I'm going to Empower Me Pink. But what does that mean to them? It could mean that I'm going to march downtown in a rally wearing a pink shirt. They have no idea. But if I say I'm going to a paparazzi training, it's a little bit more clear of a picture for that. Now, avoid as many lingo words as you can, especially when you're talking to customers or hostesses. When you're talking to other consultants, like I said before, lingo words are more acceptable. At Paparazzi Convention, you're going to hear people throwing around all kinds of words like Empower Me Pink and back office and PV and OV, and you'll hear all of the ranks of paparazzi. And that's more acceptable because everybody else there speaks paparazzi-ese. Okay, last one. Use full words. So back office instead of BO, personal volume instead of PV, and organizational volume instead of OV. Especially when somebody's new, all those abbreviations and all the new words with our paparazzi lingo, it's hard to understand. So if you use the full word, it gives them more of a clue of what you're talking about, especially if they've heard it before. Now, when you remember that people who aren't in paparazzi don't speak our language, it's pretty easy to keep those lingo words or those jargon words to a minimum. Keep what you're saying nice and simple. Your customers are going to thank you for it. Okay, that's all I have for you today, except for that super awesome resource that I have over on the blog for you. It's the Paparazzi Lingo and Definitions document. You can print that out. You can put it in your binder so that you can reference it as you need to, or share it with a new consultant, or even if you know somebody that's like, what does this mean? You can share that with them too. The call challenge for today: print and go through the list of paparazzi's most common terms and keep the list handy in case you meet a friend that needs it or in case you need to know what it means. So see, super simple. Just talked about that a little bit. But it will make you a great resource for all things paparazzi, and that's what you want to be. Thanks for listening in. I love sharing this stuff with you, and I can't wait to see you next week. Love you. Bye-bye.